So, welcome back to another episode of Owarimonogatari. So, in the previous episode, we started the Euler arc, I guess. I think what did they call it again? It's Solochi Riddle. That's it. So it was an absolutely fantastic episode. I am, as much as this arc is, or this season is very good. It's also very weird in the sense of I feel very uneasy whenever I'm watching it. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, I'm enjoying it a lot, because I feel very uneasy watching it, but it's so well written, and I feel like it's just, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So in the previous episode, dude, the VA for Euler went absolutely crazy, or Oikura. She went absolutely mental. I don't think I mentioned it during the episode, but when I was editing it, I was like, God, she did not need to go that hard, man. It was absolutely fantastic. It was also such an unnerving scene, you know, with her just screaming her lungs out and seeing how much she actually hates Araragi, right? And it makes you wonder, right? Obviously, why is her hatred this deep-rooted, right? And I guess that's kind of the point of this arc. So I guess we'll find out more about that. Also, a very interesting proposition, or I guess detail, that we found out in the previous episode, and that we've been finding out even before that, is Ougi, for some reason, Araragi feels very comfortable with revealing information that he hasn't revealed to anyone else, to Ougi, right? So he revealed to her that his parents are cops, which we never found out about that until, I think it was one of the sisters said it at some point, right? To, I believe, to Hanekawa or something like that. It was never Araragi who told us, the viewers, that. So he doesn't like talking about it himself, and he revealed it to Ougi very casually. So it seems like even he acknowledges the fact that, oh, there's something weird happening here. Ougi is making me say things that I never otherwise would have said. So yeah, Ougi is a very interesting character. Yeah, let's say it like that. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more to her than meets the eye, and we still need to see what exactly is she, like, how does she know so many things that she shouldn't have known and stuff like that. My theory is that she's like somehow some kind of phenomenon that has some of Araragi's memories and stuff like that, but I don't know if that makes sense. I don't think it does. That's why that's purely like some kind of, you know, abstract theory that I feel like is not correct, but I guess we'll find out more as we watch it. But anyways, if you want to watch this Uncut and Unblurred, it's gonna be on my Patreon, which is down in the description, and without further ado, let's go into Owarimonogatari episode 3. Let's see this backstory. First year of middle school, yes. Was he kind of like the Fire Sisters? 学ぶという正しさが全うできなくなることは彼にとっては数字以上に恥ずかしいことだった。Interesting. What are they called again? These shapes. There's a word for it. I don't know what it's called in English. The 4D shapes. I should know this. I definitely studied that, but I forgot. I love the opening, by the way. This opening is so good. Here it is again.
当時の僕はモンティホール問題を知ってはいなかったけれど、
うん。
いきなり突きつけられたその問題に興味をそそられた。
Yeah, it was a fun problem when I first heard about it as well. It's a really fun one. Here she is.
解けてない。選択は変更したけれど、どうして C が正解なのかわからない。
Are they gonna go into actually why the solution is this way?
本人の話によれば、他にも何人か手紙を出した相手はいたらしい。だけど、その手紙を受けて、廃屋という待ち合わせ場所にやってきたのは僕だけだったそうだ。のこのことやってきたのは。のこのこと。
So intuitively, without like actual mathematical proof, the reason why the Monty Hall problem, so it's basically you have 3 doors. Behind one of the doors there is a prize, right? So you have to choose one of the doors, like just randomly and decide, okay, I'm gonna choose this one. Like you have to choose the door that has the prize behind it, right? You choose one door. So the host of the game is like, okay, I'm gonna show one of the doors that's incorrect, that doesn't have the prize behind it, like of the 2 doors that you didn't choose, right? And by that, I'm gonna eliminate that door. And then the question is, are you going to change the door to the other one, or are you going to stay with this one? Which one should you do statistically, right? Which one is probability, right? And obviously, when you first chose the door, it was 33%. And now, thinking about it, now you have 2 doors left. One of them has the prize, one of them doesn't. There should be intuitively, on your first thought, it should be 50-50 now. That you either, if you change the door, it should be 50-50 that you either get the prize or you don't. But it's not the case, right? You should choose the door. It's 66%, 0.6666 periodically, that behind the other door there is a prize. And that's because the other 2 doors that you didn't choose have a combined 66.6% probability that there's a prize behind it, and the door that you did choose has a 33%. And even by eliminating a wrong door from it, that probability doesn't change. It doesn't distribute back into the other door. So the chance of the prize being behind the door is still 66%. It doesn't just get magically redistributed back to the other door. So that's why, even though there's only 2 doors, 2 options, one of them is 33% and the other one is 66%. That's basically the very basic intuitive version of why the Monty Hall problem is the way that it is. There's a mathematical proof and everything, obviously, when it comes to probability, but that's the intuitive way to think about it. I'm better explaining it. Hopefully it makes sense. Those are some of the most fun moments in mathematics. I like fun problems like this. Or like fun facts. I remember first learning about the Mandelbrot set and stuff like that. That was so much fun. Euler's identity, yes. Mm. Mm. Euler's identity. Okay.
つ目の条件は、ここでそういう勉強会をしていることは、二人だけの秘密にするってこと。誰にも言わないこと。
Also, short thing. I like how I never actually connected it, but her nickname was obviously Euler, and Euler's identity, you know. I feel like we're going into obviously Oikura's identity and stuff like that. I didn't actually connect it, but it makes sense.
そして、三つ目の条件は、私の名前を聞かないこと。私が誰なのかを探らないこと。数学のこと以外で、私に何も聞かないこと。だった。数学の妖精か何かですか、その子は。でも逆に言えば、それ以外のことはあの子は何も要求しなかったんだ。本当に何も。3つの条件と、それから最初に言ったお願いと。あまりに一方的に教えてもらってばかりなのが心苦しくて、僕はある日、お菓子を持ってきたことがあったんだけどな。見返りが欲しくてやっているんじゃないの。私はあなたに数学を教えられて幸せ。だからお願い、数学をずっと愛し続けてね。って。ますます数学の養成じみてきましたね。ともかく僕は彼女の出した条件を全部飲んで、それから毎日この廃屋に通い詰めた。完全に毎日ですか？一日も欠かさず？でも、その勉強会はある日突然終わった。夏休み最後の日のことだ。いつだって先にそこにいて、勉強会の準備を済ませている少女が、その日に限っては来ていなかった。その日に限って、その日初めて、いつまで経っても、いつまで待っても、彼女は現れなかった。なんとなく、中学1年生の荒木小弓は思った。もう僕は、ここで彼女から数学を学ぶことはない。
That's a shame, man. A good math teacher is so good. I mean, a good teacher in general.
彼女の正体を探ろうと、他のクラスへと調
It's
査
so
に踏み
fun.
出した。しかし、同学年はもちろん、上級生にも、僕がひと夏の間、ずっと会っていた少女はいなかった。まるで、存在ごと消えてしまったかのような彼女に、荒木少年は、そう、おののいた。怖い。初めてその時、彼女を怖いと思ったのだろう。だから、彼は廃屋に近づかなくなり、だから、彼は少女のことを忘れた。だけど、廃屋で少女から学んだ数学のことだけは忘れず、そして2学期以降、荒木少年の成績は数学を中心に持ち直したのだった。つまりある意味、彼の生活は廃屋通いをする以前の元の状態に戻ったというだけのことなのかもしれないが、長い目で見れば何も変わっていないのかもしれないが、しかし確かに変わったと思えることも一つあった。荒木少年はおおむねその後も正しさを求める姿勢を貫いたけれど、そのせいで時に暴走し、とんだしっぺ返しを食らうこともあったけれど、数学に限ってだけ言えば、彼は面白さを求めていたということだ。その拠り所がなければ、きっとあの学級会の際、正しさを打ち砕かれた後に、彼の心にはきっと何も残らなかったことだろう。あの子が数学の面白さを、人生の面白さを、世界の面白さを教えてくれたから、今の僕がある。僕はあの夏でできていた。でも要するに、その謎の少女がおいくら先輩なんですよね。いやいや、荒木先輩、謎解きってほどじゃないでしょう、これは。むしろこの流れでその子がおいくらさんじゃなかったら、いささかミスディレクションが過ぎるということです。アンペアだって言われちゃいますよ。じゃあ、おみちゃん、夏休み明けその子が、少女おいくらが、
Was never in...
1週間
Yes.
後にいなかったことはどう説明する？転校したんです。ただしこの推測には一つだけ穴がありますよね。すなわちおいくら先輩と荒木先輩がかつて同級生だったということになるからです。荒木先輩のこれまでの口ぶりでは、直江津高校に入学して初めて荒木先輩はおいくら先輩と会ったかのようでしたか？
Yes. That means you...
初
And
め
you...
て会ったと思ったんだよ。
You would have remembered that
つま
if
り完全
it
に
was the same
僕
one.
は少女おいくらのことを忘れていたということだ。自分が誰のおかげで数学が得意なのかも忘れて、
So did you
どれくらいあい
repress
つに
it?
恩義があるのかも忘れて、僕はクラスメートとしてあいつに接していたんだ。今の僕があるのは全部数学のおかげだってあいつは言っていた。 戦場ヶ原と付き合っている頃さえ。だけどそれは本当は私のおかげだって言いたかったのか。幸せな奴は好きだけれど、自分が幸せな理由を知らない奴が嫌いですか。そして何でしたっけ？自分が何でできているか知らない奴が嫌い？実際に忘れていた記憶を思い出してみると、眼蓄のある言葉ですね。とにかく、明日僕はおいくらに謝らなきゃな。それであいつが嫌っている僕を好きになってくれるわけもないだろうし、あいつの何かを楽にしてやれるわけでもないんだろうが、謝るべきなんだから謝るべきだ。おや、
Damn, he's a better man than I am. I would have ignored her. Yeah, I mean, if honestly, speaking, I like from like if this were actually happening, I mean, usually it's easier to just ignore people who like lash out at you, especially if you know they didn't do anything wrong. But I guess there is a mutual like PTSD, I guess, or trauma there, shared trauma. So I guess there's more to that. The thing that I found interesting here is so you know how do I approach this? So he said that this was kind of like the thing that defined him as a person when it comes to loving math and stuff like that. So I actually like that because in the previous episode I said that people are not defined, or like people's personality traits are not defined by like one event that happened in the past. They're usually a combination of like everything that happened and like a million of other events, right? But I feel like when it comes to something like getting inspired or like getting inspiration for your adoration of something, of a subject especially, that can very much happen in like one event, or like just from one person lecturing you on something in a very passionate way. You can definitely get very inspired by just one person. So I like that. It's not like a very much a huge personality trait that he developed from her. It was just one of the passions that he developed from her, which is very much realistic. I feel like that's really cool. And I feel like this is also very relatable. I definitely found a lot of passion for mathematics as well from like a good teacher that I had. So that's really cool.
僕の方から言いたい文句だってないわけじゃないんだぜ。転校とか、そういう事情があったにしても、去る前に一言言ってくれてもよかったじゃないか。あんな空っぽの封筒だけ残されても、わけは。
Yeah, there's still a lot of holes in the story.
それに、1年3組で再会した時、その場で言ってくれたら、その場で思い出せたはずなんだ。今になって言われても。その場で言ってくれたらね。あの時の少女は私だよ、アララギ君。久しぶり。何？私のこと忘れちゃったの？
That is very much tropey.
もう冷たいんだから。でもそんなところが素敵とか言ってくれたらという意味ですか？そんな壮絶なキャラはこの世界観でかつて見たことがないけれど。
In this work.
ならば、
yep.
どうして彼女がそれを言わなかったかを考えるべきでしょう。そしてどうして彼女が別れを告げずに去っていったのか、それも考えなければなりません。でないと明日謝ったとしても、事態はより悪化するだけかもしれませんよ。口先だけの謝罪ほど被害者を怒らせるものはありませんからね。被害者？おいおい、ちょっと待ってくれよ、おみちゃん。それは言い過ぎじゃないのか？そうですね。もちろん荒木先輩が悪いわけではありません。ただ、荒木先輩は愚か者です。どうしようもなく、どうしようもない。扇ちゃん、君は一体何を知っているの？
Nothing.
私は何も知りませんよ。あなたが知っているんです。荒木先輩。僕。そうですね。ここはおいくら先輩の少女時代を見習って。
Oh, wait. So is she...
問題です。おいくら育ちは荒木小読みのことが親の敵のように嫌いです。それは荒木小読みがおいくら育ちの期待に応えてくれなかったからです。だから彼女は彼に何も告げずに転校していったのです。さて、おいくら育ちは荒木小読みに一体何を望んでいたのでしょうか？何を望んで？ヒント。荒木先輩のご両親の職業に関係があります。
How do you know that?
120秒。
Where did you pull that answer out of? Wait, before he answers, one thing that I just kind of noticed is, so when she says she knows nothing, Araragi, you know everything. So I guess it took me a bit of time to realize, but the reason she's saying that is because she's trying to, like, everything that she's trying, all the answers that she's trying to get, Araragi knows them. It's just that they're very much deep rooted into like his, like, either trauma or he just legit, it's been so long that he forgot about them, and she's trying to bring them out of Araragi. That's why she says, you know everything, right? Because he knows all of the answers to all of the questions that she has. She just has to, you know, kind of bring them out of him and kind of like, you know, almost forcefully bring out all of that trauma. Interesting.
要するに大倉先輩は荒木先輩に数学のなんですか面白さとやらを教えるのと引き換えに見返りを求めていたということですよ。第三者の立場から言わせてもらえればやっぱり最初の封筒って怪しいですよね。罠の匂いがプンプンします。罠言うなら釣り針ですか。
You think it was a trap?
他の生徒にも手紙を出していて荒木先輩だけが現れたという本人の弁は嘘ですよ。まるっきりの虚言です。事実は荒木先輩だけを狙っての一本釣りでしょう。荒木先輩が数学の成績を落としているのを知ったOikura先輩がそこにつけ込む形で興味を引くであろう内容の封筒を下駄箱に入れたということでしょう。教科数学を何とかしなきゃと思っている少年のところに数学的問題。まあいい疑似絵ですよ。とすると本当にノコノコと現れた僕って感じだが。ねえ荒木先輩。荒木先輩は私のおじさんであるところの星野めめがこの町で暮らした学習塾跡の廃墟をよくご存知なんですよね。ああ、そりゃ言っただろう。僕自身そこで寝泊まりしたこともあるくらいだって。そしてあなたはこうも言いました。この廃屋とあの廃墟は同じくらいボロボロだと言いましたよね。言ったけど。それおかしくないです？なんで数年前に潰れたばかりの学習塾と5年前にすでに廃屋だった民家とが同じくらいボロボロなんですか？そうです、荒木先輩。5年前、ここは廃屋ではなかったんです。廃屋というのはあなたの勘違いです。ここはおいくら育ちの住まう家でした。おいくらの住まう家？どうして彼女はいつも荒木先輩よりも先にここ
I mean, I assumed that this was her home. I didn't really question it that much. Yeah, yeah, I kind of assumed that. That they weren't meeting at like a rundown house.
さて、荒木先輩。ショックを受けのところに鞭を打つようで申し訳ありませんが、私の推理はここからが肝要です。どうして荒木先輩は5年前、おいくら家を廃屋だと思ったのでしょう。それは記憶違いってことだろう。いえ、勘違いです。記憶自体は多分合っていますよ。当時この部屋の窓はすでにこんな具合に割れていたと具体的に証言されていたじゃないですか。だから記憶違いではなく勘違いなのです。家庭内暴力ってやつか。そうですね。
Bro, don't do this.
なかなか悲惨な家庭環境でお育ちになられたようですね、おいくらさんは。平和な家庭でぬくぬく育った荒木先輩がこの家に通い詰めたひと夏のことを記憶の片隅に押し込んだとしても、記憶の奥底にしまい込んだとしても、それは責められることではないのかもしれません。2学期になってからの転校の理由もこうなるとなんとなく想像がつきますね。崩壊しつつあった家庭が完全に崩壊したってことでしょう。その際においくらさんは名字が変わったのかもしれませんね。だからこそ直江津高校1年3組で再会した時に荒木先輩は初対面だと思ったとか。まあ顔で分かれって話ですけれどね。ともあれ、おいくら家がその頃極限状態にあったことは間違いないでしょう。そして彼女はそれを何とかしたかった。なんとかって？なんとかはなんとかです。だから荒木先輩を呼んだんですよ。おいくら先輩が荒木先輩に求めた見返りとは、つまりはそういうことだったんです。
Cops, his parents,
家庭崩壊、暴力を伴う家
his
庭崩壊の
parents.
解決なんて荷が重すぎるだろう。中学1年生に何を期待していたんだ、あいつは。だからご両親ですよ。両親？警察官なんでしょ？荒木先輩に正しさを示したご両親。そのご両親においくら家のありさまを報告することをあなたは期待されていたんです。だとしても口止めされていたんだけれど、僕はおいくら自身からここ こでおいくらと会っていることを誰にも言うなって。あくまでもおいくら先輩は家族を自ら告発したくはなかったんでしょう。娘として親を自ら咎める形になるのは気が咎めるのか。
She felt better. Yeah. Makes sense. She was trying to cover her own bases. Yeah. That makes sense. Damn, man. Oh, sorry about that, the camera. Oh.
ちゃぶ台の裏に貼り付けていった空っぽの封筒こそが僕という男を如実に表していた。空っぽで外れ、当てにならない男だった。まあおおよそこんなところですが、荒木先輩、私の記憶が確かならば、確か荒木先輩はどうして自分がおいくら先輩から親の敵のように嫌われているのかを探るために今回の調査を実施したはずだと思うのですが、その目的は現時刻をもっておおむね達成できたと思われます。つきましてはそろそろ撤退を図るべき頃合いだと考えますけれど、最後に一言何かありましたらどうぞ。締めの一言。今の僕はとても恵まれているよ。確かに順風満帆で幸せだ。友達がいて、恋人がいて、後輩がいて、とてもとても幸せだ。だけど、そんな幸せな僕は少し嫌いになってしまったよ。ならばその分、私があなたを愛しましょう。それに荒木先輩、考えようによっちゃ数学までを嫌いにならなくてよかったじゃないですか。違いね。確かに何を嫌いになっても正しさを見失っても数学だけは愛し続ける。それはもはや一種の呪いのようでもあった。
So the way that because obviously thinking about Oikura's situation, it's obviously, like, needless to say, it's absolutely horrible. But and obviously if you look at it like objectively, she shouldn't be hating Araragi for not telling his parents, right? He didn't do necessarily anything wrong. He couldn't have known back then. But when you're in that kind of situation and just associating, well, first of all, she was like what, 11, like 12, whatever back then. So obviously she was a lot younger, and also just having negative memories associated with someone who was there and didn't help you, even if they're not at fault necessarily, and you know they're not at fault, you can develop a strong hatred, especially if you're unstable mentally, like Oikura is, and you're in a very like horrible environment. You're gonna develop, based on those memories, a strong hatred or disdain for something or someone very easily. So I feel like she's just kind of like venting all of that hatred onto Araragi, even if deep down she probably knows that he is not to be blamed. I feel like it makes sense why she would hate him even then, right? Even though, as I said, I think objectively speaking, her hatred definitely is misplaced. It does make sense. It's kind of also a coping mechanism, right? It definitely helps with at least coping a little bit. I did not expect this to go this direction.
今の荒木くんをこれ以上追い詰めるようなことを言うのはとても心苦しいんだけれど、荒木くんが中学1年生の1学期の期末試験で数学の壁にぶつかっていたことくらいなら何らかの方法で知ってもおかしくはない。そこをつくようにモンティホール問題を下駄箱に入れることもできると思う。でもその計画の肝である荒木くんのご両親が警察官だってことをおいくらさんは。
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Who told her about this?
それは荒木くんがひたすらひた隠しにしていることじゃなかったっけ？そうだ。それについては僕は余計な、あるいは不要なトラブルを
how did she know that?
聞かれても言わない癖がついている。なのにどうしておいくらはそれを知っていた？どうやって？
I kind of assumed that maybe when he was a child, he told people more often, but maybe not. There's more? I thought that this was gonna end the arc.
ればならない扉。僕にはまだ忘れていることがあるのだろうか。これ以上。だとすれば、荒らぎ恋にはどこまで愚かなのだろうか。僕の愚かに限りはないのか。私がお前のことを忘れるはずがないじゃない。おいくらはそう言っていた。だとすれば、彼女はきっと覚えているのだ。2年前の、5年前の、そしてそれ以前の愚か者。
Before that,
僕は教室の前に到着した。この扉の向こうにおいくらすらちがいるのかどうかは、さても全く
Schrodinger's
不可能
Oikura.
な証明だった。
Interesting. What an incredible episode. So interesting. Dude, this is... Yeah, this arc is absolutely fucking fantastic, man. Even if I don't... I know that a lot of people do really resonate with a lot of the events happening here, and I saw a lot of the comments basically talking about their experiences and how they resonate with this kind of thing and like how it hits close to them. For me personally, I don't necessarily resonate with any of the themes here, but I do find them incredibly well written and incredibly interesting to watch, right? I feel like it's so well done. So interesting. So there obviously there's even a further connection between the two. It's interesting. One thing that I was thinking about is, I was like, I wonder how he doesn't remember this kind of a big event. But then I think about it and I'm like, man, I don't remember what I did a week ago, let alone 5 years ago, right? So I get you can easily forget a lot of things, especially when your life is moving as fast as Araragi's. Your brain, as much as it is good at retaining some information, it's also it also is so shit at recalling a lot of memories, and especially when you cram a lot of new ones. Araragi's past like 6 months have been absolutely like just insane and just absolutely filled to the brim with like new experiences. So obviously his brain is gonna be, you know, not deleting necessarily other things, but like archiving a lot of old stuff. So it makes sense why a lot of the things would be repressed, right? Especially if it weren't a necessarily positive experience, right? So it makes sense that he forgot a lot of things. But it's really interesting. So the thing about his parents, right? I was kind of assuming that maybe the reason that he could have told her at some point is when he was younger, I thought that maybe he would be a lot more open to talking about it because he seemed like he was really proud about his parents being police officers. He really liked justice because Karen and Tsukihi seem like they're very proud of it, right? So I thought that he was the same, and then the event in the classroom is what changed them to be more closed off about talking about his parents. But even back when he was a kid, it seems like that was a big detail for him that he didn't want to disclose, right? So interesting. We'll see how she found out. I mean, I feel like the other information that I'm not sure of is why exactly would she... I mean, I guess this is all gonna go into, I guess, the next few episodes. Why exactly would she choose him for the Monty Hall problem and like to invite him over and stuff like that? Like, why? How did she know that he... I guess she would know that he was failing and stuff like, or his grades were dropping, because I'm pretty sure it's like publicly announced in the school, like the grades of everyone, of the students. I guess that is a Japanese thing, or like an Asian thing. So I guess that would kind of go back to that. But very, very interesting, man. Ougi was a lot more chill this episode. As I said, it seems very interesting the way that she's talking about it. Oh, I don't know anything, you know everything. Yeah, as I said, it seems like, yeah, obviously he knows every answer that she asks of him. The thing is, she must know a lot of things to be able to even ask those kind of questions. And the way that she leads them on is very much as like obvious that she knows what she's leading him on towards, right? So she even corrects them a lot of times. She's like, no, that's not what happened, Araragi. This is what happened. So obviously she knows a lot of what's happened and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like the thing about her not knowing anything is not being truthful, obviously. But the other part, I think, is truthful. You know everything in the... Yeah, when it comes to the questions that she's asking. That's very, very clever. Very interesting. Is there anything else? So I don't know. Yeah, Oikura as a character. It's tough, man. What a tough situation. I didn't expect it to go that way. It makes sense because I was gonna talk about like in the previous episode when we saw how mentally unstable she is. I was gonna talk about like interesting that her parents never took her to like you know, a therapist or anything like that, because I feel like she obviously is exhibiting a lot of how should I say this? She's exhibiting a lot of mental health problem related symptoms, at least, right, from her outbursts and stuff like that. So I feel like obviously going to a therapist would be the right call. I guess this explains that her parents probably never were interested enough in her mental problems. Also, as far as I know, I believe, especially in the East, like the Asian culture, mental health is still not treated in the same at the same level as most of the West is treating it. So I guess there's also that aspect of it. But yeah. Oh my god, man. She needs an Ougi. She needs an Ougi to guide her through the trauma. Or maybe she actually needs just a normal therapist, actually. Let me take it back. A normal therapist, not an Ougi. But yeah. Also, another thing that I wanted to talk about, and I didn't want to pause for it, is the Euler identity. So I believe that the Euler identity, very simplified, because I don't fully remember the entire math behind it, is basically it goes back to how, you know, in a complex plane, if you, oh my god, if you multiply something by I in a complex plane, it's gonna create a circle, right? And if you go for, if you make a circle for pi degrees, obviously that's 180 degrees, and the cosine of pi is -1, so e to the I pi equals -1, and then you put -1 on the other side, and it's +1, and it's e to the I pi +1 equals 0, right? This is kind of the rough outline of Euler's identity. I just wanted to kind of quickly say it. But yeah, I wonder if it's kind of like a play on words of her obviously being Euler and her obviously trying to find her identity and it being beautiful and stuff like that. Interesting. Anyways, I'm excited for like to continue this. I feel like Owarimonogatari has a different vibe to anything so far, but I feel like it has the possibility to become my favorite season so far, but purely based on how good the writing is. So I'm excited for it. But I'm gonna end this one here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.